The Indianapolis Colts were the surprise of the 2025 season, even at the trade deadline being to the point they felt comfortable trading away 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner. But then it started to fall apart. Why? Daniel Jones suffered a season-ending injury, and he was injured beforehand but still playing. And after Daniel Jones went out, the Colts were done for. Their backup quarterback rotation was not good enough to the point they had to bring in retired Phillip Rivers to fill the role. And as fun as it was to see Grandpa Rivers throw some touchdowns, he wasn't the type of quarterback they needed to make the playoffs. And that leads a big question mark on this Colts team this year. How healthy is Daniel Jones? Can they repeat the success of the first half of the 2025 season, or was it a fluke? Well, today I'm going to talk about it as I'm going to preview the 2026 Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts were very fascinating in their free agency moves, as in, they didn't make a whole lot. They signed Michael Clemens, who is fine, Arden Key, who is again fine, Akeem Davis-Gaither, who I do like quite a bit, but not really going to be a major impact player, then a bunch of just depth guys, and overall, wasn't a whole lot on that front. But you look at their losses, and that's really what fascinates me. Kwity Paye never really lived up to the hype of when the Colts drafted him. I fully understand that, and I don't necessarily think he's worth $16 million a year. Good move by the Colts to move off him. Braden Smith shocked me, just because I think he's a solid right tackle, and if you have a solid right tackle in the NFL, you don't really want to lose him. So that one, yeah, a little shocking to me, but overall, I get it, and he's at a division rival now, so maybe the Colts know something that I just don't, but can't say I'm the biggest fan of that. Nick Cross was a safety I really liked last year. Thought he was starting to come into his own. Went to Washington. Younger player. Probably the guy I would take in the contract on, considering he wasn't that expensive at 6.5 AAV, which isn't bad at all. And they trade away Michael Pittman. And I'm a Steelers fan. Here's what I will say about that. They got off that contract and actually got draft capital for it. So that's grade A work. I really don't think Pittman fits the offense whatsoever, and I don't really think Pittman is that good of a player anymore. So the Colts got off him, they got off that contract, and they got draft capital. Good bit of business by the Colts, but overall, they really just didn't do a whole lot outside of signing Alec Pierce to the mega contract. And I have 2 thoughts on this. Number 1, he's a good player. Good thing you kept him around. He had good chemistry with Daniel Jones. That works. Then the other side of me is, $28 million for Alec Pierce annually? Like, you hear the voice crack. It just shocked me because I never really considered him to be that great of a player worth that contract. 20 to 24 million? Sure. Put that extra 4 million on there. I'm going, where? I just am a little pessimistic about this move just because Alec Pierce to me has not showcased the ability to be that true cut number 1 guy on a championship level team or really even on a playoff team. I think he was good last year, but I also think he looked like a really good 2 last year. And I understand the Patriots were probably going to pay him gobs and gobs and gobs of money, but then I also wonder, how much does he really impact your team compared to if he went to the Patriots? You get a compensatory pick, and you're pretty living good. And then I realized something. Chris Ballard is trying to save his job. You don't get better without Alec Pierce. And as much as I question the contract, if I'm trying to keep my job, yeah, I'd pay him $28 million because he is going to help me keep my job, as well as paying Daniel Jones a good bit of money, even though it's for a year. You still are paying him money, and the issue is, when I look at the Colts, is how much of this team right now is just in, I need to save my job, I need to save my job, I need to save my job. And that's where I get worried, because when GMs are in this position, they do something stupid. Oh, they traded their first round picks for Sauce Gardner. Yep, nope, he already did a stupid thing. And that's really how I view it. Yes, Daniel Jones is on a 2-year contract. It's essentially, I'm pretty sure they have it out next year. This is a 1 year. If it doesn't work out, we're done. Or if it does work out, hey, you're here for another year type situation. And that's really with where I'm at right now, is the Colts we see this year may not be the same Colts we see next year. And a lot of their free agency moves kind of prove that to me, that Chris Ballard, I don't know if their coaching staff's necessarily in that position, but I very much feel like Chris Ballard is in job-saving mode territory. The Colts had a fine draft, especially considering their first pick was in the second round, and I actually had a first round grade on their first pick, and they didn't have their first round pick due to the Sauce Gardner trade. But CJ Allen, I love to death. I thought he was great tackling. I thought he showed great ability in coverage. A big thing that I saw was his coverage rate and everything wasn't as good as some other people when you look at PFF and everything. I don't have any worries about that whatsoever. When you watch his film, you see the ability to drop back in coverage. You see that he clearly understands where the ball is going and everything. It's going to come around much better. And you look at the Colts who need a linebacker in the middle of the defense. CJ Allen can definitely provide that. AJ Hullesy is a fine safety. Good value with where they took him. Jalen Farmer, again, good value. Good guard coming out of Kentucky. Good, can get out in the run game, be physical. Like that. Bryce Botchner, I didn't watch a whole bunch of him, to be completely honest. With what I did see was he really feels like a special teams player to me. That's really what I got from him. George Gums Jr. from Florida, I am a Florida Gator fan, so I am very familiar with him. I think he has a lot of potential. He's very quick, has a good first step, but he just hasn't put it together. Maybe the Colts can get that there. Overall, I wouldn't bet on it, but if you're taking a guy in the 5th round, you want some high upside, George Gums can provide that. Caden Curry, a guy I didn't watch a whole bunch of. Again, Seth McGowan, I really liked him, and I actually started watching him when I was watching Jalen Farmer because I was seeing him pick his holes, pick where he wanted to run the ball to. I thought he had very good ball carrier vision and overall just good running back to contact balance. And Deion Burks, the wide receiver from Oklahoma, I actually really like this pick a lot for their last pick. I thought he could take tops off the defense really well. He just wasn't in an offense that could feature him all too great because that offense line at Oklahoma was not good. And John Mateer suffered a really bad injury on his throwing arm, which really hurt their ability to throw the ball downfield. But overall, solid draft. Nothing I'd really pound my fist on the table to say it's great outside of CJ Allen because CJ Allen I love. But everything else, good value with where they took them, and overall should work out well for them in the league. I'm going to be blunt and honest. I don't know what to think of this Colts team. Because the first half of the season, I felt like an idiot because I was so low on them last year entering the season. I was like, they'll be picking the top 10. And then the second half of the season came, and it was even pre-Daniel Jones injury, especially after the Steelers game, post-Steelers game, where I feel like the Steelers defense kind of showed how to beat them. I really did not like them as a team. So I'm kind of torn here. Do I play it risky and risk getting burned as bad as I did last year, being so low on them? Or do I play it safe and end up saying something I maybe fully don't believe in? Which has led me to say, I think they are going to be at the bottom of their division. Not saying they'll be worse than Titans. I think it's the 3rd and 4th place battle between those two teams. But I don't think this team will be finishing over 500. I don't think this team will be in the playoff picture. And I don't think this team will be having the same general manager and head coach on the football field in the 2027 season. I just really feel like last year's first half was a fluke. Jonathan Taylor played amazingly. Do not get me wrong. This is not anything against Jonathan Taylor, not anything against Daniel Jones. I love Daniel Jones, but he's coming off an Achilles injury. Quarterbacks, or mainly just any player coming off an Achilles injury, it takes them another year to fully rehab, to fully bounce back. I don't think we're seeing the same Danny Dimes we saw at the first half of the season last year until maybe at the end of the season. And I just really have so many concerns for this Colts team. This defense, I'm not fully bought into it. This offense, if Daniel Jones isn't 100%, you can just load the box on them and dare them to beat you. And here's the thing, Jonathan Taylor will beat them a couple times because he's Jonathan freaking Taylor. But outside of that, their passing attack is Alec Pierce and Hope. And I just don't like that much. So I'm gonna be with what I actually think. This is gonna be me trying to pump up the Colts fan base and say, "Oh, I believe in you." Because to be authentic, I don't believe in this team whatsoever. And it really comes down to the point that I see them finishing with a top 10 pick this year. But oh wait, they don't have that top 10 pick because it's going to the New York Jets because of the Sauce Gardner trade. I really don't have many positive things to say about Chris Ballard when it comes to that aspect because I think you really missed a boat there. And it's going to be given the top 10 pick to the Jets, in my opinion. And it's going to lead to the firing of him and the head coach, and there's going to be a brand new clean slate for the Colts next season. Because this season, I just don't have high expectations for them this year, and probably next year as well, because losing a top 10 pick is really, really bad. The last time it happened was the Carolina Panthers, and that wound up to be the first overall pick. I'm not saying the Colts are going to be finishing 1-1, but I think they'll be in the top 10 position, giving up that pick to the Jets and leading to the firing of Ballard, which has been long, long overdue. I'd like to say thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you have any disagreements, go down in the comment section. I love reading every comment. And if you think I'm completely wrong about the Colts, tell me why. And I'm generally curious to see your reasons and everything. And if you want to see more team previews, I'm doing 32 in 32 days. We are close to the midway point. So close to those Kansas City Chiefs. That's exactly 16. But we haven't hit that mark yet, so there's still plenty more to come. And if you're watching this later, there are plenty out. So I hope you enjoy this, and I hope y'all have an amazing day.